Gruesome Magazine.
I am your host, Jeff Mohr, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in theatrical release, streaming, and video-on-demand horror movies. Each week, Doc Rotten, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreher, Christopher G. Mohr, and I will look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Not with us is the head cheese,
The head
Doc.
cheese.
Doc is not able to be with us today, but we are soldiering on because that's what we do. But with me is Crystal Cleveland, Living Dead Girl. How you doing, Crystal?
I'm fabulous. It's great.
Of course.
I haven't yeah. I don't know.
It's your thing.
I was
It's your
gonna
thing.
say
I
something, but decided.
All right.
No,
All right.
So
Well, it's
bad.
good to talk to you.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you too. Okay, Christopher.
Also with us is Christopher G. Mohr,
G.
laughing
Mohr.
Buddha in red. How you doing, Christopher?
All you need is words, Crystal.
Yeah,
All you
I
need is
know.
words.
I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know how to talk.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not hearing any Irish folk songs. And
Maybe you
and then
should. Maybe you should have sang a little Irish ballad at your intro. See, you missed because you're magically delicious.
Oh, Danny boy. No, that probably doesn't count. All right. So
Who
here on
are
Gruesome
we?
Magazine, we review movies. We'll each give our first impressions, and then which will be spoiler free, and then we'll go into spoilers and have a discussion about the film and finish up with a final score between 1 and 5 and a favorite scene. So,
Oh, yeah.
Like,
you forgot about that part. All right. Our film for this episode is All You Need Is Death from XYZ Films, available VOD and in select U.S. cinemas on April 11th. The synopsis is a young couple who collect rare folk ballads discover the dark side of love when they surreptitiously record and translate an ancient taboo folk song from the deep forgotten past. Written and directed by Paul Duane. The cast includes Simone Collins, Charlie Maher, Olwen, Fouéré, Barry McKiernan, and Gary Whelan. It settles into your bones. And you guys see there's actually a pull quote on that poster from our very own Joseph Perry, writing a review for Horror Review. Terrific.
nice.
All right. So let's go forward. And what shall I do? What shall I do? Well, since you're on top, we'll go with
Okay.
Crystal first.
Of course.
I know
Look at
everybody-
Christopher just like, Okay.
He's sitting
So-
back.
So this is a hard movie for me to review because as I was watching this film, I didn't quite know what to think. And I realized this movie was very, very obviously not made for me. It just could not possibly be made for someone like me because I think it was filmed okay, competently filmed. I couldn't understand a single thing about this film. And I don't want to put it down because apparently there were people that made this that thought that this was, really good and happy. I'm sure they're, oh God, y'all, like, I don't want to down this movie too bad because I know how hard it is to make films and stuff, but I don't get it. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I have to be missing something.
Wow.
Because not only did I not get it, I wanted to laugh at so much of the film. And I know that was not what they intended at all. So this did not hit me in any way, shape, or form. The story was fuzzy at best. That's when I could kind of understand what sort of universe they're in, because clearly they're not in our universe. And I didn't understand the songs. I'm not really into that kind of music. I'm not into this Irish folk music, which, regardless of me being part Irish, I don't nope, doesn't do much for me. The bad accents, the worse acting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but this film did nothing for me, and I I feel bad for the to put it down. It's just not for me. I'm sure there's people out there that will really maybe well, as Joseph said, terrific, which is great. It's for those people. But I can assure you that my horror fans, this is not their film. Sorry. It's totally not their film. That is all. Yep.
That is all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Woof. Okay, Christopher.
All right, Christopher, you're up. What were your first impressions of All You Need Is Death?
Frustration, bafflement, confusion, bewilderment, ridiculousness. These are the side effects of watching this film. I felt like I know what dementia feels like by watching this.
Yeah.
It's I did not like this film at all.
Yeah.
I think it's a mess. It's almost like they tore out pages of the script and then filmed that. The only scary part of this movie that it was made. By the way, a 1990s Ghost called. They want their shadow demons back. 1988's Willow called. They want their really bad morph effects back. There's flashbacks that are like dollar store Braveheart cosplayers. It tries to be, it almost feels like an indie, like an Irish indie type film it's like it's like David Lynch and Cronenberg had a baby and it was stillborn. It's a mess of a movie that I could not grasp onto anything. And it's like they watched Mike Flanagan movies. It's like, we need to have a monologue every few minutes about, I'm going to tell this story out of the blue so I can pad this movie to an hour and a half. I was just flabbergasted by the end of it because 30% of the movie is just them driving around in a stationary car. I mean, it's
they did the thing that
it's like there's just these long things, and granted, maybe it's a way to sort of to give a viewpoint to Irish ballads, I guess, or Irish folk songs or whatever, but I had a hard time trying to grasp on to what this movie was trying to tell. And it doesn't really do a good job story-wise. And there's a few really bad acting spots in it. And then it tries to be artsy, trying to make up for the fact that the story's a mess. It skips forward at times. And then it has an ending that just like would confuse David Lynch. So I would.
I like David Lynch, and I'm still confused.
Well, all I did not need was this film. I'm having a hard time saying anything positive about it, which is a rarity for me because I just really found it to be just. There's no words. I don't have a thesaurus to really figure out what other words have to say, but I am not a fan of this film at all. It's like Crystal was saying, it's not made for her. It's definitely not made for me. This film kind of rubbed me the wrong way where it's like, you know, there's some ideas, I guess, that could be interesting, but I just found it to be boring and plotless at times. I don't know. Let me stop. I feel bad for because you know it takes a village to make a movie, and I appreciate that part of it. But this movie, I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, so that's a rough one.
Okay.
Although maybe Jeff,
Hopefully, Jeff can have
maybe Jeff is in
a ray
Joseph
of light.
Perry's camp. Yeah.
This should be interesting. I always figured Crystal's always the one that explains stuff to me, not the other way around. So I liked this movie. But it took okay. I watched it twice, but there's a reason.
Okay.
The reason was I was listening to it on my Bluetooth headphones, and a lot of the sound and dialogue wasn't coming through. I wasn't getting what they were saying towards the end when they had distorted voices. So I think that's an issue, at least for me. But I figured it out on the second watch using some different sound settings, and I enjoyed it. I liked the whole. First off, I like folk horror, and so I was kind of interested to get into this. Also, I noticed that the writer-director Paul Duane had done a bunch of kind of strange but interesting looking documentaries on people in the music industry, which I'm going to try to check out because the people he picked to do these on were unknown to me, but had looked like they had kind of chaotic lives. I don't know what to say. I didn't see any problem with the accents. The girl Simone Collins, who plays Anna, is Irish.
We're talking about the Russian dude.
Oh well, he had bad Russian accent.
Yeah.
He turned into
The Russian dude.
vampire by the end.
That's just what
Yeah.
everybody does that same thing. The woman that plays Rita Concannon, Olwen Fouéré, which I'm sure I'm not pronouncing right. I like her a lot, and I've seen her in a couple of other things that she was really good in.
Who was the person in the wheelchair? What on earth with that reading the lines, literally? Oh, I'm sorry. You're still in your first thoughts. Finish your sorry.
Yeah, I don't. So
I'm sorry.
So I don't know. I liked it. I liked this whole idea. I think I picked up on it. Is the ending fuzzy? Yeah, it's kind of fuzzy, but it fits in with everything in the story about how kind of this curse that got broken, and then all this stuff started happening to these people.
Oh, well, I should clarify. No, I understand that. But I don't understand it. I don't understand the point of it. It's just, oh, no, I do like I understand it at its core,
Well,
what it told us. But
I was satisfied
woof.
with the explanation in the story. So I enjoyed it because I thought it was really creepy. The song kind of got to me, and
Oh, boy.
the progression of the Russian guy, I don't even know what they called him. Alex, his voice, I thought he did a great job with his voice going as he got weaker. It just really sounded, it sounded good to me. I wanted to see what he looked like, and that seemed realistic to me. I liked it. I just like these. There's a lot of these slow UK folk horrors that take a long time for it to develop without a whole lot of action. It's just sort of like the environment they're in and the people and the stuff that happens to the people in normal sequence. So I don't know. I didn't have a problem with the story, and I kind of enjoyed it. So I know I'm not going to be able to convince anybody, but
Oh,
I
no.
thought it was
Mm-mm.
creepy, and that holy crap, the thing that happened at the end, I just thought was crazy.
Well, I will say I thought that the dude are you done with okay. I will say that
Yeah.
the dude at
And
the
now
end
we're in
looked cool.
spoilers, everybody.
Yeah, the dude at the end looked cool. I mean, I'm not saying that like and Alex when he's in the bed, he looked cool too. Look, like I get that, and but I hate. That doesn't make a good. I mean, that's just like painting a turd for me. Like it.
I don't know. I've
Ugh.
probably seen a couple dozen movies that kind of have this same temperature, same atmosphere.
Well, those
same,
movies
uh,
are better.
Yeah. So here's the
Yeah, I've
thing.
seen lots of great Irish folk horror movies.
Yeah, I like folk
You're
horror.
not,
I like folk
you're,
horror.
that's not acting
Yeah.
like that's. I've seen a lot of those. I
Oh,
love
I
a
didn't
lot
say
of
that, but
those.
I thought
But
it fits into that subgenre really well, and
well,
I enjoyed it.
So okay,
I agree
when
with
I was
Crystal. There's a lot of people that aren't going to like it, but it's one of those things
yeah,
that fits me,
I think
I guess.
I think it's got a niche. So I was watching it on my computer, and my husband heard from the other room, and he asked me what that horrible screeching was, and it was the singing. So that's unfortunate. Like that says that's telling to me. Like not all the singing is bad, but I'm just saying, and I'm not going to say what moment this was, but it it was something. It was something. He was like,
oh,
"What is that screeching?"
well, and I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm totally opposite. I found nothing creepy about this, and it was shot like it was a BBC movie where they were pulling their punches at times. Um, and even the one big uh, like gore effect, they didn't even do that properly. It was shot really hatchetly edited to sell the effect, by just showing the after effect of it. Um, yeah, and it's just it skips around, um, and the motivations of the characters don't make sense. There's just yeah, and there's just moments where you have these really bad shadow demons or whatever that just reminded me of that demons from Ghost.
S-
Um, yeah, you have that kind of stuff, and then just there's moments where we're gonna show the guy inside of his little puppet show. I mean, there's just so many just stuff that does
That
not
was
make.
kind of
I was
hinky.
I was like, what? Why are we focusing so long on this? We're going inside of it. It's like I was like, this. I mean, the only positive thing I can say, it's bonkers at times because,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
It
oh,
is. That's true.
and then it's like, oh, I have to set up my tape recorder, so let's get out of the car to set it up, and then we'll go back in the car. They
And
did
then
that like
she
twice.
just
They're
does
like,
it in
can you
front
not
of.
set that up in the set that up in the
Yes,
front
like she
seat?
doesn't care.
It's
It's like
just stupid.
wild.
I mean,
Okay,
just so many stupid
Jeff,
things
what
that
was your
didn't make
favorite
sense.
part? What was your favorite part of the film?
What was
Like
the favorite part?
what was your favorite aspect of the film? Not your favorite scene. We'll talk about that. But what like made you like this? Because I'm
I
really
I
trying
like
to
the story. I like the
Oh,
story.
okay.
And
Okay.
I like the actors, and I like the story, and I did think it was atmospheric, and I did uh like the song. Of course, and I don't know who you're talking about because they had people up in this uh classroom thing singing
Yeah, that's why
songs that
I don't
didn't
want to
know what
point
they were doing.
anybody out. Yeah, I don't want
But
to I don't want to
the
call anyone out.
woman, the old woman, the way she was singing it, I thought it was more like a wailing, And then
That's for sure.
when Simone Collins did it, she did it in a much more what we would think of as a good singing voice.
Hmm.
Um, and I liked how it became sort of it was like being possessed almost when men heard the song, I guess. And when the woman Agnes heard it, because she wasn't supposed to have done what she did. And we saw what happened to Rita because she allowed it to be recorded, even though she didn't know it, and let the non-Irish woman hear it. So anyway, I liked all of that. I also liked how she went bonkers at the end. Anna, that's a big spoiler, I guess, but
Oh, mm, well, I mean, yeah. I mean, but you kind of see it coming because pretty much everyone Everyone did. It's like it's a crazy train.
Everybody
Okay, it's a
wants to hear
crazy
it
train for
more.
sure.
Yes. Well, and they
Okay.
talked about how there was they didn't know for sure. Did this thing hold a curse, this song, or was it somehow or another keeping a demon locked in, and that's what came out? I don't know. But I enjoyed it, and I thought the end was so crazy.
I
When,
did.
when,
Yeah.
when the engineer from Alien Covenant showed up.
Oh, that's interesting. I
Yeah,
do like that look, though. I do like that paled out look. I do. I mean, of course, yes, it's been done and stuff, but I don't hate that look. It's a cool look.
If I made a movie, I would never
mean,
show it
I'm
to Christopher.
Yeah. You know, Christopher
Because he
has
would
a lot of
compare
grace.
everything in it to some other movie that has.
I only do
like
that
it,
when
and
I
it's
don't
just-
like something.
Yeah, well,
I'll tell you,
and I'm kind of like, Jesus,
he does have a
how
lot
could
of grace as
come up
long
with
as it
something
doesn't
new? How could anybody come up with
upset
something
him.
totally new? So yeah, I like the way she got killed. It didn't bother me the editing. I thought a lot of it. Number one, this has a estimated budget of 150,000 euros.
Oh, well.
So there wasn't a lot of money for stuff like that.
Mm-mm.
And this actress, I don't know about the other ones, but the one that played Rita McKiernan, she was just had a lead on the Tourist series with Jamie Dornan that was on Netflix, I think. To see as a Irish mob family boss. Yeah. So anyway, and she was nasty in that. So I don't know. I just enjoyed it. And I liked the song because I thought the first time I heard it, I thought, oh my God. But then when the other girl sang it and you heard it a few times, I thought it did what it was supposed to do. It started to kind of dig in. For me. So
yeah, I wish I could say the same, honestly.
Are we done?
I wish I could say the same.
Art is very subjective, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It is.
Which is always a good thing, you know.
I'll be honest with you. I had to watch. This is how bad it was for me. I watched about 25% of it and I had to turn it off because I couldn't stand it. I couldn't
Interesting.
stand it. And then I was like, okay, I got to gird my loins to watch this turd because I've got to review it. So I had to come back and rewatch it all. And it didn't improve for me. I hate to say that about a film. I really, truly do. I really, really do. I just could not. I just couldn't. And that's why I say I'm clearly missing something because this got made and it got picked up and it has distribution. So clearly there's something there. It's just something I'm missing. And sometimes that's just the way it is, you know. Sometimes it just doesn't hit.
Well, it's what I think it's what we don't all like all the same kind of movies. We sometimes run across just really good movies that we all just love, but there's other times it doesn't happen. It'll be interesting to see once it gets a few more ratings on IMDb. But anyway, you guys ready for
yes,
score and favorite scene?
Yep.
I think we did. Did I do Crystal first?
Okay.
Yeah, I did do Crystal first. So between 1 and 5.
Oh, God, this is the worst part because I'm like, well, okay, look, I'm gonna give this.
Oh, yeah, nope.
I'm gonna give it actually a 2, and so 2.5 is like mid if it has everything there and all the pieces are decent. I just can't stand the story at all. Well, and the singing, but so I'm gonna give it a 2. I almost wanted to give it a 1.5, but I'm not going to ever give it a 1 because that's Bloodcraft. That was the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. But like this, it's in between a 1.5 and a 2. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. If anybody loves this film, I really apologize. I really do. And my favorite scene is, oh, well, obviously the aftermath of the cutoff. That was hilarious. That was I'm like, what? Where do you pee?
Oh.
Yeah, like what?
How,
What?
how that old line used to be: go to your go to the schloss and cut off your schlossen, or something they used to always say in Johnny Carson.
I'm like, well, all righty then. Like that's someone should probably
Well,
make a
that was
look at that. Mhm.
yeah, mutilation
Yeah.
is a type. So okay,
Okay. Cool.
you good?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Moving on to Christopher G. Mohr.
Let me preface this by saying, make your own opinion. Don't base it on anything I say.
The kinder, gentler
Because
Christopher.
I
Because
realize
it's hard to do that to a film. I'm
I've
with
got
him
It
though.
is.
I'm with him. I agree.
and I
Like,
hate it as a filmmaker, but I'm
Yeah.
also like to be honest about how I feel, and that
yeah, me too.
this film was not made for me. I give it a 1.5.
Yeah.
I can't give it a 1 because I think there's a few things in it I think that give it merit, but overall, this film, yeah, I'm not a big fan of later David Lynch stuff either. So this feels like there's those elements there, but to me, it just felt scattered. It felt like there's pieces missing from the script, and then it just doesn't make sense. I'm just gonna pick a favorite shot because I don't have a favorite scene. There's really nothing in this that I really enjoyed at all. It was frustrating to watch. There's a couple of really cool wide shots. There's a one that's where I think the guy or the girl is standing, and you see in the background, it's like a really wide shot of, you see like almost like fire or smoke coming out of a smokestack, and then
Mhm.
the way it's this wide, really extreme wide shot, I thought was kind of a beautiful shot. There's another one where he drives by her with the van or whatever, but those two shots I think stood out to me. The cinematically, just in how they were framed, and those really cool big shots that kind of looked good. And so that's the positive. That's my positive part of my review. Those two shots I thought worked really well, but I wish I could have liked it more, but it was not my cup of Irish whiskey. So
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. You guys are gonna
Now we have Jeff. Oh,
force
God.
you're gonna crap your pants. I'm giving this
Oh,
a
no.
3.5.
Oh, well, yeah.
I'm giving it a
Okay.
3.5.
But you liked it. I
I
mean,
did.
so
And a favorite scene, I'm debating between shocking death, which wasn't, I guess I knew that was going to happen. But I'm going to take the scene where Alex and Agnes are listening to the tape, and then he's going to leave, and then he comes back.
he's like, oh, yeah.
Says, I need
Just
to do it some
mesmerized.
more. And can I hear it again? I think I need to hear it some more.
Okay, this
let
explains a lot.
me touch your belly button.
Yeah, this explains a lot.
I don't think that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I get it now.
Anyway, that.
Okay.
Well, because
that's the epitome of why you like the film and why we don't. I totally see. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense now.
Well, that was when I totally understood what was going on, and understood why the woman got killed, and that kind of stuff. So anyway,
they made me like, what is wrong with this film?
I love you, Jeff. I'm glad you liked it. Seriously, thank God.
Good. I'm always. I hope you're the one person that likes my film when it comes out.
I love your film. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
And I don't have any dialogue for the closeout on this. Just thanks everybody for coming.
Yeah.
Be sure to check this out again. It's coming out April 11th in selected theaters and VOD.
let us know what you think. We want to hear your opinions.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Because I
Please.
am really curious. I mean, I have a feeling this is going to be one of those movies you either like or you don't. I just don't
Yeah.
see a middle ground for this at all. Like some movies you can go, oh, there's totally a middle ground. I don't know. This one is so you either like that kind of stuff or you don't. And that's yeah. So it's very interesting.
All right. Well, that's it for this week, everybody.
Is this why Doc wasn't here tonight? Mhm.
I know. I thought I used to have like a closeout line, but I don't see it here. So thanks to all the listeners. Thanks to Christopher and Crystal for, I know they were tempering their comments
Yeah, well,
somewhat.
there's no need to be mean. There's no need to be mean. I think we were obvious about how we felt without,
But it'll be interesting to see. So say good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Gruesome Magazine.